Alright guys, welcome back. So we're looking at Applied Digital APLD stock. So today after Friday, well, slightly 2.2% positive. I mean, overall market tried to bounce, market closed slightly negative or maybe even flat for today. But this stock rolled over and it was gapping down in the morning, and it did find some buyers or people who were covering or people who decided to buy the dip. But this was the support area for me essentially. So this is we talked about this like literally a day ago. I think I was talking about if this stock stays below 50-day moving average, which is 28 right there, this yellow line, I will still be watching this name for some sort of a choppiness and then essentially at some point test this 200-day moving average. But at the same time, I was waiting for 13Fs to come out. So let's take a look at 13Fs and then we'll go through the option activity and the price levels and all that good stuff. The main thing for me was Nvidia. Okay, this is the website that I use. Actually, you can use it. whalewisdom.com. You just go type the ticker symbol and then come down here and take a look at the reported dates. You can filter it by the changes, biggest changes. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at biggest changes, right? So, and then you can see there's a lot of data actually. Their average cost, which institutional investor, shares amount held, percent of their portfolio, okay, and what's the change in percentage. You can filter out like this. So I'm filtering out by the biggest shares. So I see Goldman Sachs sold 65% of their holdings, and they had average cost of $6.88. And then there's I don't know about Voller Ridge Investment. I don't know anything about them. 76% of they trimmed. Susquehanna, I know very well. This is pretty big. 99% they sold it. Their average cost. Okay, that's not the point. Now I'm gonna filter up. Who added the most at what price? There are a lot of funds. Pretty much opened a new position in this stock, and you can see their average cost, almost like $14. These 13Fs, and again, this is another thing. These 13Fs are for quarter 3. Okay, so after quarter 3 ends, essentially any fund managing over $100 million, they must file this 13F with SEC. Okay, and it came out for quarter ended September 30th. This is right there. Okay, you can see what price has done. So this was kind of like squeeze, but it looks like institutionals were accumulating, and they were pretty much putting buying pressure as well. Hence why we saw the stock in a very short period of time go from like 13 all the way to $40. So, but my point is, all these filings, buys and sells, whatever happened here. We will find out what happened here in February. Okay, so some will file it earlier, but my speculation is again, I was speculating like this for a while actually. I was thinking maybe I'm gonna watch. So my point is, I was curious about Nvidia. Nvidia did file. Typically last minute, they do it all the time, unchanged. Okay, so they're let's just principal hold. I think they're top 5, top 6, maybe top 7 in terms of like the amount of shares they're holding. So this is CEO that he dumped like 1 million shares. Okay, but he still has a lot of shares. So Nvidia, right there, 7.7 million shares. No change, filing date, average cost $5.25. I think Nvidia has been holding it for a couple years now. I was speculating even in the beginning of the year, or where I was like, yo, I think if Nvidia sold this stock, it's gonna flush down, but they didn't. Okay, but now knowing that their average cost is $5.25 and stock rallying to 40, I'm pretty sure I don't think they sold out completely, but it would be so smart to take at least some profit at these levels. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But this was the whole point. I was just waiting to make another video about this name, if they sold or not. But that's not the point. Okay, so we will find out in the next 3 months, 4 months now. But in terms of price action, 25 resistance was, I mean, it was right here only I was watching. But if I go back all the way when this stock went crazy to these, from like whatever, like penny levels to 34, these are the areas I took, like closing. Again, I'm looking at the weekly, but I was looking at these levels on a daily. Okay, so these were the resistance levels well before stock took out this level. And then even like 34 was all-time highs. Then it broke out, hit the $40.20. This is now all-time highs for the stock. From its all-time highs, essentially almost 50%, right? We can say it pulled back, considering today's low of $20, and the pre-market, I think it was going even lower, 19. So essentially, yeah, it did have a pretty big correction. So whatever you want to call it, dip buyers, short covering, because this stock is highly shorted. And here is the next level. So if this stock has a bit more gas, this 50-day moving average is a resistance. Once it gets back above it, I will be bullish again. I will be watching this stock to the upside. So far, my take is bearish to neutral, considering the stock is still trading below all of the short and medium term moving averages for me personally. This is 20-day, this is 5-day, and the yellow is 50-day moving averages. Okay, so the momentum clearly in the last week, we want to say, turned to the downside. Okay, it was choppy sideways move right here for quite a bit, and then it rolled over in the last like 5 trading sessions right there. Okay, and again, there were a lot of other stocks were coming down, and we were watching CoreWeave earnings as well. So keep an eye on CoreWeave. Another thing I want to show you guys. Let's take a look at large blocks. I want to see for Friday if there's any big print came in, but no. I'm seeing large orders clusters still that were distributed at the top, and until stock price trades above it meaningfully, I still consider these people profit takers and people who sold these blocks. They are large orders: 31 million, 37 million, 37 million, 54 million. Number 4 was 39 million. I'm not saying these are like crazy, but historically, these were pretty big. And then these apparently were all those funds pretty much acquiring. So these were looking like profit takers to me, but then after seeing these 13Fs, it makes sense. A lot of those funds average cost, they're reporting like around $14 or something like that. And then also, yeah, some people who trimmed it, of course. So, but there were more net buyers according to 13F versus sellers. Hence why you are seeing the stock price significantly higher. Okay, so top buyer, we can just take a look at 2 top buyers, 2 new brand positions, right? DE Shaw, like they bought like 11 million almost, and Jane Street 7 million almost. These are like top buys. And then these are the top sells. Only 2.8 million shares sold by Goldman and Vol and all these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna be watching, keeping an eye on CoreWeave, because CoreWeave got demolished pretty hard as well, which brought the stock down, I believe. And their comments, earnings, and all that good stuff, it wasn't too bad of earnings. Okay, it was just guidance, I believe. They reported pretty good earnings, CoreWeave. So Applied Digital, their earnings not coming out. I mean, we still have a lot of time now. So are we going to get some sort of a Christmas rally? Now, this is what everybody will be discussing. So they're not reporting until beginning of January. So this is Q4. So if they're going to report positive EPS, that would be really good for the company, because they have been reporting 3 cents negative in the last 2 quarters. They were improving significantly versus the beginning of the year. Okay, so yeah, neutral to bearish, and super bearish area for me would be the 200 moving average, and then I would be watching to trade it long. I have my alert right there from there. But right here in the middle, yeah, this is prior resistance of a 21 acting as a support, but I wouldn't put too much weight on here. But again, if it stays above it, sure, okay, I'll keep an eye on this one. But if it starts cracking, I might even trade the downside. But I didn't trade this move right there because I was talking about it pretty much literally the day before yesterday. But again, I'm not telling you to buy or sell. I don't own any stock or options. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next update. Take care. Peace.